Hello and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilk. Hope everybody's having a great week. Happy Friday Eve. We have a lot to get into today. We're going to be talking about Lacrosse State Championships that will kick off this weekend. A lot of great matchups. I'll be breaking down each one, what to watch out for, the biggest matchups, and the best players for each team. And then we'll get into some tell of the tape. I'll be looking at different players' tape, including Chancie Brown from Dougherty High School, Thomas Ouma from Aplachee High School as well. Can't wait to break down their film. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then hopefully in our third segment today, we'll try to talk to head coach for Cambridge, Craig Bennett, learn more about their program, seeing that they're losing some of their senior talent that's graduating, Will Taylor, Christian Isabor, Jack Marlowe, and several others, seeing some players that are going to replace that production they got last year. And then we get into my recruiting segment, latest in recruiting world with offers, commitments, and everything going on in high school football as far as recruiting. Then my top 10 headlines for the weekend and a little bit about soccer, and then look ahead to the weekend. So that's what I got for you guys today. But let's go ahead and break down some tape. Before we do that, though, I'm going to talk about the first player. Chancie Brown plays for Dougherty High School. Has what stood out to me on this tape, great block shedding ability. Doesn't let a block stop him from making a play or getting the tackle. Really love that about his game. He can rush the passer as well if needed. I think Dougherty next year should use him a little bit in those kind of sub packages, off the edge, maybe a little bit as outside linebacker a little bit. I know he plays middle linebacker, but they should use him in those packages too. And also he led his team in tackles last year. But let's roll the tape and show what else stood out to me as far as linebacker Chancie Brown. All right, so he is right here, middle linebacker spot. Here's going to make a great play on the ball, stop it, TFL, easy money for him there. Right here again, just a great read, great play recognition. Going to get into the hole. Nice tackle right there, slow him up. All right, here, this is one of my favorite plays. I'm actually going to slow this down. This is on a kickoff return. We're going to slow it down in a second. I'm going to really break it down. Okay, so let's slow it down right here. Boom. Okay, so he's going to avoid two blocks here just to get to the play and make the tackle. That's just flat-out effort. That is what you want to see here. Boom. Boom again. That's two blocks he missed. And then he goes and gets the ball carrier. I mean, that's phenomenal effort and hustle on the play to not allow them to get any more yards. That's phenomenal. Can't teach effort. You either have it or you don't. That right there, just a great play. Great stick in the backfield. Here he comes again. Great recognition right here. Come down, boom, here he goes. Nice stick in the backfield. Great play there from Brown. Right here again, you're going to see a little bit of read option, kind of baiting. He's going to read it well, sniff it out. Another TFL for him. Great play right there. Good job here, just shedding that block, getting off the block, and then making the play. Right here, love this. He's just going to make a play on the ball, be able to chase and run him down. Phenomenal play right there. Love it. Same thing here. They're in the red zone. All right, here we go. Right here, boom. Good block shed. There he is, right there, boom. Nice point of attack, getting off the block, making the play. Great play right here in coverage, getting the PBU, showing his kind of versatility, not only being able to run pursuit, but also being able to play man and make the big play as well. Right here, just a nice stick in the backfield. Right here, just a high snap. He's going to chase down the quarterback. Big loss right there. Great play recognition by him to go get the quarterback. Same thing here. He's showing his rushing ability, get off the block, make the nice sack. That's why I said I think he should be in more of those kind of sub packages, being able to rush the passer. I think we're going to see it again right here. Here he comes. Down the field. Boom. There's the hit. Great play there from Brown. All right, here he is. Middle of the field. He's reading the play. Seeing what the offense is going to throw in the formation. Okay, boom. Here he comes. This is going to be the forced fumble. Here he comes. Boom. Nice play right there, creating the forced fumble, attacking, hustling. Love that about his game. Has a nice motor. Really just all over the field. All right, so that's it, guys. That is his tape. Go check him out for Dougherty High School. Led them in tackles last year. Again, think his coach should put him a little bit more in some sub packages so he can rush the passer. Very relentless in his pursuit. Great block shedding ability. I think he'll have another good season next year for Dougherty. That's what really stood out to me as far as his tape. Again, led them in tackles. Shows the ability to be able to rush the passer. And then he has that effort and hustle that you just can't teach, and that's what you want to see. So that's what stood out to me for his tape. He continues to do that, add a little bit more. Muscle and weight, I think he's fine. I mean, he has a really good tape, and I think he'll continue to get better for Dougherty next year. He'll be a player to watch out for on that defensive side of the ball. Next player that we're going to talk about is going to be Thomas Ouma. Before we talk about him, though, plays for Aplachee High School. They didn't have the best season, I believe. They were 0-10 last year. But what I really like about this player is his versatility. I know I said that in the earlier segment with the other player, but, I mean, you have a player, you can play on offense and defense. He can play receiver or corner. He can play safety. He can play edge. He can play slot. There's so many positions Ouma can play, and that's what really stood out to me on this tape, and I really love that about his game. And you're going to see he's just going to really attack plays. When he sees a run, he's not going to just wait for it. He's going to recognize it, go make the play in the backfield, not allow the offense to get any momentum going. Love that about his game. He's really great in coverage. He does a good job of high pointing the football, which I'm going to outline in his tail of the tape as well. Good there. Really can sniff out a play. Great at rushing. The passer blows up plays in the backfield. And like I said, that versatility can play any one of those positions on defense. Edge, slot, corner, safety, wherever you want to put him at. Player's a boss. So let's go ahead and roll this tape. All right, here, it's going to be an interception. Great play in coverage. He's just going to high point the football. Go get it. Nice catch. I mean, that's how you stop a big play right there. He does it there right here. Just a great release off the ball. He's going to burn the defender. And then he's going to get the touchdown. I mean, great release right there, just showing his ability, his footwork ability, and things like that. All right, right here again, high point in the football, going to get it from the defender. Phenomenal, phenomenal play. Right here, you're just going to see a screen play. He's going to be able to just get out in the open field, follow his blocks, get some space, and create a big play. First down, 1st and 10 for his team. I mean, great play for him. Right here, love this. This is what I love about his game. Look at this. He's going to come off. Look at him go get the quarterback. Oh, man, that's just phenomenal. Right here, safety position. Now, look at this play. Pause it real quick, Craig, and then roll it back. Okay, I want y'all to see this so I can really break this down. Okay, pause it right there. So, he's at the top of the screen. They're going to show him. This is going to be a screenplay now. Now, you see, it's very, very, gosh, I can't think of the word, but it's very optimistic, I would say. This looks like it's going to be a touchdown. I'll put it like that. This looks like this is going to be a TD, right? You see the receiver, he's about to hit his block. The offensive lineman is out. The other 150 is blocking the edge. It's basically just the safety, and it's the running back, right? So look at him, blow this play up, prevent the touchdown. Go ahead and roll it, Craig. That's just effort. I mean, that's a great play to be able to blow that up, not allow the touchdown. Phenomenal. Here he goes again. Rushing the passer, can't get there. He's still relentless in his pursuit, gets the sack. Here we go again. What a play right here, right? He's going to rush it. Boom, here he comes. TFL. You can't coach that. That's just effort and pursuit. Here he is again, right? This is a run play. Look how big this play can be. Look where he comes from. And look how he snuffs out the play. Come on, man. Can't be no better than that. All right, here he is again. He's going to be in coverage, I believe, on this play. Great job. Boom. Send it stick. Did get the first down, but hit him right then and there. No yak yardage or any of that. Right here, so me a QB draw. Good job getting them right there, not allowing him to get any extra momentum. And then here he's just going to show his ability as a receiver, right? Being able to see the zone, get in the middle of the zone, getting the big first down, just showcasing his ability right there. All right, here he is. Love it. Here's the versatility, right? This is slot right now. Look at him snuff out this screenplay and make the hit. Oh, my goodness. All right, here he is again, right? Look at the play recognition. Look at him. Read the QB eyes. Pause it right there, Craig, and go back real quick. I want to break that down one more time because that's the last play after. Okay, pause it right here, Craig. Okay, so, again, this is their spring game, right? So you see the receiver, top of the screen right there. He's going to be going deep, right? He's looking to get an outlet. The quarterback is easy play, maybe like an out route or screen or whatever, flare, whatever. He's just trying to get it out. So look at him recognize, hey, I'm not going to get there, but let me still disrupt this play. So he's going to get there. He's going to read the QB eyes, get the PBU. Go ahead and roll it for me, Craig. Right here. So look at him look, read it, stop, get the PBU. That's a great play. And then right here, versatility again. Look at him coming off, let him get the field goal block to prevent them getting points. Come on, man. I mean, you want a player that gives great effort again, versatile, can rush the passer, can play coverage, um, can blow up plays. I mean, Thomas Ouma does it all, and I mean his tape is very, very impressive. And I don't know where he's looking at an offer standpoint, but I definitely want to give him some recognition. This is a guy you can use on the next level, whatever that may be, D1, D2, D3, NAIA. That is a guy that you want to have on your team because he could do so many things well, and he's so versatile. So again, coverage, got that down pack. If you need him to play receiver, he can play that. If you need him to be a slot corner and rush off the edge, he can do that. If you need him to be coverage and not allow a touchdown, he can do that. He has a great tape, and I really enjoy breaking him down. His really, really impressed me. So I'm definitely going to give him a shout out. Thomas Ouma, a name you need to know for Aplachee High School. I know they don't get a lot of credit and they don't get a lot of notice, but I do want to highlight him today. One of those versatile players, can play both sides of the ball, very good in his coverage, very good with his effort, phenomenal, phenomenal player. So those are the two I got today. If you guys are watching on our YouTube channel, I linked their Twitter profiles and their huddle tapes down below if you want to go see more of it. Definitely go give them a follow. They're great players. Watch out for them next season. All right, so we're going to keep going. We got more to talk about before we go into our first break. We're going to talk about this the soccer championships I covered for 6A and 7A. Roswell won 2-0 against Marist. Pair of goals from the underclassmen. Let Roswell pass them. Freshman Maya Masawa, she scored with 35:55 left in the second half. And then sophomore Rachel Pfeiffer, she followed by scoring a goal 5 seconds later to help push the Lady Hornets to a 2-0 lead. Never relinquished up the rest of the game. Marist came into the state championship as a defending state champion in 4A, but Roswell had other plans. They didn't move up to 6A classification this year, but the Lady War Eagles were seeking their 12th title in program history. Roswell pulled off an improbable run, handing Marist its first loss of the season. You heard that right. First loss of the season. Roswell was the number 4 seed entering the playoffs. They produced, get this, Craig, 4 shutouts in their 5 playoff games. 4 shutouts for Roswell in 5 playoff games. Can't play any better defensively. Yeah, and exactly. Marist tied Chambly. Chambly had that great run with Salah Washington, who's going to UCLA. I mean, a phenomenal run. Great play from Roswell. They pulled off a major upset. But let's keep it going. Lassiter boys won 3-2 against River Ridge. No shortage of scoring in this one. Both teams combined for 5 goals. They continue to throw haymakers at each other. Lassiter survived. 2-time defending state champions. Great run. Tyler Arwelman, he was crucial on the attack for the Trojans in this one. Scored a huge penalty kick, and they win their first title in program history. So shout out to him. He had a big game in this one. Then junior Dean Matthews as well had a good contribution with a goal. And sophomore Chris Atterbridge, they ultimately came up short. But Matthews had a great run for River Ridge. He had second on the team in goals this season with 10. But shout out to Tyler Arman, who hit the crucial penalty kick that allowed them to go ahead. And then in the 7A, you had Denmark and Walton. This was 0-0 game. Really a good defensive game from both teams. Great saves. Denmark ended up winning 4-2. So great win for them. On the girls' side, the Lady Deans won 4-2 in penalties. They delivered their first title in program history. During their run to the championship, Denmark was led by senior Jordan Crosby. She scored 23 goals this season, and the Lady Deans defeated Kennesaw Mountain 3-0, Norcross 5-2, Richmond Hill 4-0, and Campbell 1-0 this postseason. Walton was seeking to win their second ever state championship and first since 1993. Really came close. Thought they had a really good game. And before that loss, I mean, they were on an 8-game winning streak. So they had it all going for Walton. Kind of shocked they lost, but this next one, man, this had to be gut-wrenching. I'm not going to lie to you. Lambert and Walton, that might have been the best game all state long. I'm not going to lie to you, right? Lambert wins 5-4, but peep this finish, right? Credible game. Thrilling finish. Lambert and Walton, they show their resilience in a back-and-forth game. Both teams gave it their all. Lambert won their 4th title in program history, their first since 2019. They simply just wouldn't go away, right? They kept pushing, getting pushed to the brink by Walton, but the Longhorns 2 juniors, Mason Keith, right? Cole Nelson, they both scored crucial goals in their games. Keith's goal got the Longhorns right back in it before halftime, giving Lambert some momentum. Nelson, goal came with less than 3 minutes into the second half with a 2-1 advantage. So for Walton Senior, João Ramos, man, what a game! This guy had a hat trick. He's going to Michigan. He scored back-to-back goals in a 3-minute span in the second half to give Walton a 3-2 lead. At that point, I'm not gonna lie, I'm writing this story and I'm watching the game. I'm like, okay, Walton got this one. Nobody can stop Ramos right now. But Lambert just showed their pedigree. I think they were 19-1-1 coming into this game. They had a phenomenal season as well, but they had a late goal that pushed the game into overtime before they won with a penalty shootout. And peep this, Walton hung with a team that was number 2 nationally ranked according to Max Preps. So they played the best they could. Nelson was led by Nelson and Keith, who both accounted for 95 points for the Longhorns this season. So phenomenal games for both of them. Got to give Ramos a shout out. He did all he could, scoring those back-to-back goals in a 3-minute span, scoring a hat trick, keeping Walton in the game. They were right there. They were so close, but just that late goal, pushing into overtime. Kids had to be tired, and they lose in penalty kicks. But Craig, real quick, what did you think about that game? I know you had Walton advance. I mean, the girls and boys, they both play good. Like, you got to think about it. 0-0, right? And the girls win. Goes to penalties. And the same thing with the boys. Electrifying, back and forth game. I mean, just what do you think?
Only match those shootouts, though, it's just a different type of pressure on you. And once you get a save, it's just tough.
Yeah.
Lambert, though, I mean, they've been dominating all season. They're going to win the Directors' Cup, so big time.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I covered it last Friday night. I really enjoyed it. I thought some incredible games. I thought 7A didn't disappoint. 6A was good as well, but I thought that was next level soccer. As you had Jason Longshore on, who recapped the whole soccer weekend. I just want to give a quick recap before we go to the weekend. But I just thought that was great, man. They played phenomenal, and it was back and forth. And I had went to get something to drink in the kitchen, and then before I know it, another goal was scored. So I thought an incredible effort from both teams. Very, very exciting. But guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Thank our sponsor, Georgia Farm Bureau. Will be back on the other side for the second segment of the show.
Our mission has always been to support Georgia farmers. That's why we created Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, providing financial protection that farmers needed. While this remains the same today, we've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are a Farm Bureau.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into some baseball. We had some major games the past couple of days. A couple are going to be in my top 10 headlines, but the Hurricanes, I was kind of shocked by this one. They went out to Greenbrier. They won 5-3, but listen to this stat, 2023 Hurricanes, they went 16-0 this year at Richard Bell Field. First time Cartersville has gone undefeated at home since 2002. Canes have won 20 in a row at home dating back to 2022. So phenomenal season for the Hurricanes. I was kind of surprised that they lost, but, I mean, they had a really, really good season. In other news, you have Parkview. Incredible win for the Panthers. They take the series against Mill Creek 2-0. They had a 12-2 win last night. Cade Brown was phenomenal, 2 for 3, had a stolen base, 3 RBIs. He hit 3 home runs in this series. He was just on another level. Man, you go look at Perfect Game Georgia, our prep baseball report. He was doing a great, great job. And then Landon Stripling, he had it going on the mound, coming away with the win. In 6 innings pitched, he had 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, went 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs on offense. He was playing at another level. So shout out to Landon Stripling. He played great for Parkview. They had it going. I was going to try to get their coach on to talk to them about their season. As we know, they played a very, very strenuous schedule, to say the least. This season they played IMG Academy. Let me see. I'm going to pull up their schedule really quick just to say who they played. Okay, so just out-of-state teams, right? They had to play Sarasota from Florida, Venice, Florida. Let's see. They played some other powerhouse teams. They played Newman from Naples, Florida. They played Jay Sweet from Tampa, Florida. They played Arrington from Alabama, Providence School from Jackson, Florida, Mountain Brook from Birmingham, Alabama, Catholic BR from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So they were tested the whole year, and I mean, they had some big wins. They beat Brookwood, one of the rivals. They swept them this past year in the region. They had some key wins. Only I think won 3-game series in the postseason against Decula, which I've heard Decula got some dogs. I heard Decula got some boys that can play, some young thoroughbreds that's going to be there next season. And going to be contending. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to kind of shape up and look. I don't believe Decula is in their region, but next year they'll probably see them again in the postseason potentially. But Parkview having an incredible season, 32-6, 15-0, went undefeated in the region, won the region title, and now have a chance Tuesday and Wednesday to come home with the state championship. So shout out to them. Major players, Colin Hoke, who's been having a great year. He's going to Mississippi State. That's another player that's been having a phenomenal year for them. So Parkview, right there, I think that matchup with Lowndes will be interesting. And then speaking of Lowndes, they picked up a 2-0 series win against North Paulding, 4-3 and 3-0 to advance to the state championship game against Parkview. I think that's going to be one of the best matchups probably in the state championship in baseball. That's going to be at Truist Park. Kind of sucks it's on the weekday, Tuesday and Wednesday. You would probably prefer it to be on the weekend, especially with the kind of marquee matchup this is going to be between both of these teams. But I think nonetheless, those two will be really, really intriguing. But let's go. Let's keep it going, excuse me. My favorite segment of the show, latest in recruiting with your host, Najeh Wilk. Major news, right? 2024 Grayson wide receiver, athlete, John Senius. He received a Louisville offer. The young kid is blowing up. I think what's really intriguing about that, right, is that John, he's going to be at the forefront of that Grayson offense, right? So they're still going to have another iteration of Jeff Davis. He's going to be a senior, right? What steps forward does he take in that Grayson offense next season? I think that would be really, really intriguing. They're no longer going to have Joe Taylor. It's going to be Dylan Elder. He's going to have to step up. We saw him get a lot of playing time along with Joe Taylor kind of late in the season and mid-season as well. So, how will that offense look? Who are going to be some of their kind of playmakers? And I'm probably going to try to talk to the head coach, Centavius Bryant, for Grayson prior to the season just to see who are some of the players I don't know about. Obviously, I know about Tyler Atkinson, the freshman phenom, over 40-plus D1, 40-plus offers, multiple D1 offers. Kid's a stud, been invited to All-American Bowl, whole bunch of things. Kid is just a different breed, and you've seen that in their Week 1 victory against Marietta. If you guys don't know about that one, go look up our highlight tapes on Score Atlanta YouTube page. You can see all the highlights that they were making defensively. And I thought, like, in that game, I was like, wow, Grayson really has a state championship defense. They didn't get that far, but their defense was just another level. But they got a new coach, so John Seniors, he's going to be a forefront of that Grayson offense. Curious to see what other weapons are going to step up to. But I expect a big year for him. No longer going to have JoJo Stone. He's at Langston Hughes. Caden High has graduated. He's going on to the next level. So they're going to have to replace some of those weapons. And John Seniors is going to be at the forefront. So watch out for that. And then 2025 Hammersam Central athlete Zeke Whittington. He received a Western Michigan offer. Kid had a phenomenal season last year. He's going to be a rising junior. 97 catches, 987 yards receiving, 131 yards rushing as well. So good athlete for them. Expect for him to be another piece on the forefront of Habersham Central and being a big part of that offense. And let's look really quick. Oh, yeah, I did forget about him. Thank you, Craig. It's been a busy day, guys. But, yes, Craig brought to my attention the 4-star phenom, Kylan Fox. That's another guy. I'm glad you brought it to my attention, Craig. Real quick before I go back to Habersham Central. So he was a player that's like an athlete for them, but he didn't get a lot of time on offense. I mean, last year, if I remember correctly, like he didn't really play a lot. I mean, obviously he'll be a senior this year. He's really, really good, but I mean, he wasn't at a big focal point of the offense for Grayson. So as Craig pointed out to me, I do think that's another player as well. I forgot all about him, but he obviously will be a focal point of that offense next year. So another player to watch out for. So thank you for that, Craig, because I totally forgot about him. But let's keep it going. Hold on. I want to find Habersham Central just to kind of look at their schedule last season, how well they did, to talk a little bit more about Zeke Whittington. Give me one sec, guys. Okay, so for whatever reason, Max Preps doesn't want to work. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. All right, thank you guys. Sorry about that delay. Okay, so last year they were 3-5, 3-7, excuse me, 1-5 in the region. Played some pretty good teams. Played Stevens County, had to play Central Gwinnett, play Lanier, Gainesville. Yeah, this is a tough region. Yeah, I mean Shiloh's in there. Shiloh made the playoffs. North Forsyth was in there. They made the playoffs. Gainesville made it all the way to the state championship. So they're in a tough region. But once again, he's going to be at the forefront for them of their offense. Apparently, Whittington also plays a little bit of the quarterback position. So it'll be interesting to see. He's their athlete. How will they move him around? They're going to have back their junior running back, Carson Parker. So it'll be interesting to see, how their offense is going to look. But, I mean, I think that region will kind of be interesting, right? Shiloh, they're losing a little bit of their senior class. Gainesville, have to see how they look, right? They're not going to have Baxter Wright. They're not going to have Darius Cannon. They're going to have some young guys step up for them, right? So can they replicate their success? Will be interesting. And North Forsyth, they lose a lot of their seniors too. No Aiden Ruck. They're losing the quarterback Wes Roberts. So I think that's kind of I'm not gonna say it's up in the air, but that is a region that if they want to be able to make a turnaround, they definitely could. And Whittington last year, he was just a sophomore, so I think that is another name obviously to watch for. Should be very, very interesting. All right, so let's keep going. Craig, you'll like this one. 2027, Max Brown. This is the younger brother of Sammy Brown. Just received his first D1 offer from South Florida before stepping foot on a high school campus. As I was telling Craig, I seen him at an event. It was at the 707 tournaments. If you guys don't know what those are, 707, basically no contact, no pads, none of that. You're just kind of going with just skill. You have a guy that gives the ball to the quarterback, and then you have I think you have 4 other guys on the outside. You can do a tight end. You can do 3 receivers, however you want to formulate it. But it's really cool because you get to see guys compete, and it's basically two-hand touch. There's no contact, no hitting, and you're just seeing guys go at it. And I really love that, and I got to see his dad. And as I mentioned on the last show, I think Sammy Brown is going to go to Clemson. I think that's almost a foregone conclusion. I know y'all going to call me crazy, but if I had to make a crystal ball prediction and selection, that's where I think Sammy Brown will go to, especially with seeing his dad. And his dad, I believe, I don't want to say he went there, but I know he's a fan of Clemson. I'll say that. I don't want to put words into his mouth and say he went there. I don't think he did, but I know he's a big fan of Clemson. So don't be shocked if you see Sammy Brown go there. But nonetheless, his brother, he can play. I looked up his film, 8th grade film. Go look up his huddle tape. He has a good burst, man, and he's not afraid. Like a lot of times you'll see, if you look at players' tape, right, go look at 8th, 9th, 10th grade. You'll see the linebackers they'll hesitate a little bit. Unless they're like a next level, they'll kind of hesitate for contact a little bit. They'll wait till the play develop and then go make the hit or go make the play. Max Brown doesn't do that. Like if he sees it, he's going to hit it. Like if he sees the hole, he's going to hit the hole. He's elusive. Defensively, he plays linebacker, right? He's not waiting around. He's going to go attack the play. And I think his dad and his coaches and his trainers have really showed him that. I'm sure his brother has showed him some things, who's power cleaning 405 right now. And I think, that's going to be just another iteration. He plays linebacker. He plays running back. Same thing, same position his brother plays. It'd be interesting to see what kind of playing time he gets as a freshman, if he's going to be on the varsity roster. But, kid has the attitude. He has the effort. Seems like a great kid. That's somebody to watch out for. Having a D1 offer already in your pocket from a major school before you even step a foot on campus is big time. So, shout out to him. That's another player to watch out for Jefferson coming up in the coming years after his brother graduates this next year. Go look up his huddle tape. He's pretty good, man. All right. So, 2026, Kennesaw Mountain athlete Kalen Scott, he just received offers from LSU, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech. In a limited role as a freshman, he still garnered up 278 all-purpose yards. If you guys don't know what all-purpose yards is, that's receiving, that's running, that's on punt return, kick return, all that included, and 4 touchdowns. So that's a guy I didn't really know a lot about. Obviously Kennesaw Mountain, they're losing, a couple of their pieces. I've been kind of curious to see, who's going to step up for them. Kind of curious to interview head coach Caleb Carmine and see who are going to be some of the players. But I think this is obviously just going to be one of them. Kalen Scott, he's going to probably take a big role in that offense next year. Expect excuse me, for him to have a big role. Craig, who was that player? I think he played for him. He went to Ole Miss. Didn't he play for Kennesaw Mountain?
Caden Lee.
Caden Lee. I know I wasn't tweaking on that. Okay, so yeah, Caden Lee, one of their major athletes last year and receivers, he's going to Ole Miss. So I mean, Kalen Scott's going to be right there to pick up that production. So it's going to be curious to see how it looks. They're going to lose kind of their stalwart from the offensive line, Connor Lew, but they'll have some other guys that have to step in there and fill that role. Connor Lew, he's playing at Auburn. He's been one of those standouts for that team. So we'll see. That'll be really, really intriguing. And then also 2025, Josiah Abdullah, who we mentioned on our show Tuesday. He just received a Michigan State offer and an Auburn offer in the past month. He has over 45 plus offers. A lot of them are D1. I mean, just absolutely absurd. Like I always say it, and I've been saying it. Woodward Academy is just one of those teams you got to watch for next year. I mean, Josiah Abdullah, Lucas Farrington, Ben Bryce. The biggest question is their quarterback. Like, that's the only position I'm like, whoa. Like, Miles Graham going to Florida. Andrew Hines, C.J. Hurd. Like, they got so many athletes, and I feel like they were the only team. You could put Douglas County in there, right? Like, they challenged them in the first half. They trailed by 11. But Woodward Academy is the only team you was like, whoa, this team might have a chance to beat Langston Hughes. That's the only team last year that came even close, in my opinion. And you go talk to Coach Boone, he was like, a lot of it was turnovers. A lot of it, head was in game, things like that. But Woodward Academy, like I said, if they have a somewhat decent to average quarterback, I don't know what they're going to take out there because obviously they're still sorting out that position. They're still trying to figure out who's going to start for them. But if they even have a decent to average starting quarterback, that team is going to be a different breed next year. I mean, they got so many guys that come at you. Oh, I forgot to mention Jerome Bettis Jr. He's receiving major D1 offers. That's the son of Jerome Bettis that played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The running back, I mean, just studs all over the field. So, Woodward Academy is one of those teams you're going to see next year. I think going to be right at the forefront in 6A. I know Langston Hughes is the team, but if you had to throw some teams in there, Houston County I think is in there. I think Woodward Academy is in there. And then, we'll see what happens with Gainesville and obviously Langston Hughes. But, man, I mean, kids, absolutely phenomenal, receiving major offers. But that's all I got for the latest from recruiting for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to go ahead and break down some lacrosse before we take our break and hopefully be joined on the other side by the Cambridge head coach. But let's go ahead and get into it. Man, these are major matchups, man. I'm actually kind of excited. I'll be covering it this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Man, major games, right? So let's start with the girls. Milton versus West Forsyth. This is going to be the second straight year they face each other. If you guys don't see, it's going to be posted in a little bit on AJC.com. On Score Atlanta, I did a preview for the Lacrosse State Championships for the GHSA. That will be there on those websites as well if you want to see, kind of get a breakdown of the matchups, what to watch out for, and things like that. But Milton, man, their dominance just next level, right? They've won all but 2 state championships in lacrosse history. So they're the winningest program in both boys and girls lacrosse. I mean, they're just another level, right? Every year they're so good. They play a national schedule. They played 2 Maryland teams this year. They did lose, but I feel like Coach Todd Godby does a good job of exposing them to high-tier competition, getting them in tournaments. Like, COVID came in 2020, so it kind of messed things up. He told me they used to go to Florida all the time, Tennessee, but now you're starting to see that again. And they don't have an in-state loss this year. I mean, they don't. And then Coach Godby just won National Lacrosse Coach of the Year. Man, just a phenomenal coach. 15 state championships, looking to get number 16. Major players to watch out for. Malia Edmonds, she's going to Radford University. Defender Madison Eiler, she's going to Rhode Island. You got attacker Ashton Grethouse, she's going to Furman. So those are the major players to watch out for Milton. Again, just a team at a different level. I didn't get to see a game this year for them, but I think I'm going to make it a priority next year to go try to see one of their games, go support, because he's doing a phenomenal job. I had him on the show early in the season. If you want to go see that, go to our YouTube page and check that out with Coach Godby. He kind of gave me a walkthrough of his program, how they're good every single year. And then for West Forsyth, they're looking to make some history, right? Win their first ever girls state championship. Really good attackers in Noelle Kirkley. She had 61 goals this past year. 21 assists this past season. She scored multiple goals in the earlier matchup that they played against Milton. And then the other one would be freshman Bryn Markalos. She scored 41 goals this year. She's had a big impact on the team in her first season at the helm. West Forsyth is 16-5. I think for them to have a chance, they're going to have to get out and score early, right? You cannot sleep and wait on Milton, bro. Like, you can't do it. They're going to have to get out to an early lead, about like a 7-2 advantage, if they want to be able to pull off this upset. Because, Milton's obviously going to be favored. They're a program with a lot of history. They've been there, done that. Phenomenal head coach. He's in the Georgia Lacrosse Hall of Fame. So West Forsyth has a chance, but their only chance is going to be to get out early, get out on the attack, and be able to get an early lead. But I'm going to go Milton in that one. I'm going to go 13-6 victory for Milton. They host their 16th championship banner and continue that great success that they've been having as a program. All right, 5A, 6A. We got Roswell versus Blessed Trinity. A great year for Roswell, right? Played in such a tough area, right? They had Centennial, Johns Creek, Blessed Trinity, Cambridge, right? They were only the 3 seed, but I mean, Blessed Trinity was 5-1 in area play. Cambridge was 5-1 in area play, So they had to beat a lot of teams just to get here. And Johns Creek, another team, I believe they lost to, but they had their best finish in school history, right? So that's how good their area was. But here they are in the state championship game. Centennial was there too. They just didn't have a good area record. But nonetheless, Roswell, they finished 3rd. They beat some really good teams on the way to the state championship. They beat Wesleyan 19-1 to start the season. 2 really good North Carolina teams in Charlotte's Latin and Providence Day. And then they beat Lakeside Evans. So some really, really good wins this past season for them. And then players to watch out for is going to be goalie Cindy Davis. She's a Kent State commit. Midfielder Michaela McLeod. She's going to Clemson. Midfielder Lily Sanders, she's going to Jacksonville State, and then attacker Chris Redding, she's going to Young Harris. So watch out for those players in this game. And then for Blessed Trinity, phenomenal team, 19-2, 5-1 in their area. They won the earlier matchup, 16-3, a very, very high-scoring team. Through their first 4 playoff games, they have scored more than 15 goals a game. 15. So they have a great attack, man. I mean, Blessed Trinity attack versus Roswell defense, that's going to be the storyline in this one. Can Roswell create enough turnovers? Can they win the face-offs? Can they be more on the attack and kind of hit Blessed Trinity's defense more than kind of Blessed Trinity hitting them? That's going to be the key one here. Blessed Trinity, only 2 losses all year. Both came by just a single point. Lady Titans have won 5. They've had some dominance too. Along with Milton, you make the argument, the last decade, the Lady Titans have had some dominance. They've won 5 of the past 6 state championships. They're seeking their 3rd consecutive state title ring. Dominant run the past decade for them. So shout out to them, having a great year. Players to watch out for on their team is going to be midfielder Jacqueline Johns. She's going to Navy. Midfielder Reagan Hart. She's also going to Navy. Defender senior goalie Lily Needham. She's kind of playing with a injury she will have to get surgery on. I believe it's her wrist, but she had 14 saves in that game, about a .58 save percentage, so shout out to her. Junior Ava, I might butcher her name, please forgive me, but Gara Badian, she hit the game-winning overtime goal to send the Wolves to its first ever state championship. She had 2 goals and 5 assists. She hit the big equalizer late to get them back into the game with less than about 2 to 3 minutes left in the game, and the Wolves were able to win in OT. Also, their underclassmen scored 3 goals apiece, including freshman Avery Tucker and sophomore Avery Atkin. So shout out to them. Watch out for those players. They also beat Whitewater 9-6, Mount Pisgah 20-8 before the win against Westminster. All right, Pace Academy. Got to watch out for attacker Anna Knuckles. She is going to be playing at Denison next season. She's been having a phenomenal year. Pace Academy, as I mentioned before, just 1 loss. The really impressive one on their resume, I think, to me, is Columbus, right? Columbus was 18-1. They had played great in their area. They won their area. They beat a lot of teams. 1 loss prior to playing them. They put a lot of points on them, right? They won 14-8. Offense had it going, and they were able to limit them kind of early in the half in order to kind of build that advantage. So, Pace Academy having a great postseason. I think the big thing is going to be which team can make the stop late defensively, right? As I mentioned in the earlier matchup, 18-15. So high scoring. I expect kind of the same as going to be the team that can create the turnover, get the face off, be able to kind of get that play, get it back to the offense, go on the attack, and make the run. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. So both teams can fill it up. Great offenses, but somebody's going to have to make the play defensively late in order to give the team the win. But I think this one's going to be a little bit closer than 18-15. I got Wesleyan winning 15-14. Very close game between the two. Should be very, very fun. All right, now, I cannot state this enough. This is must watch TV, right? If you're not doing nothing on Friday night, go to this game, okay? West Forsyth and Lambert is must-watch TV, right? This is going to be such a good game, right? Because the implications this game is going to have possibly in potentially turning these two teams into rivals. So West Forsyth beat them for the first time ever this past season, 10-9. First win in program history against Lambert. Lambert, as we know, is one of those staples in Lacrosse State Championships. West Forsyth has a bunch of great all-state players. Grayson Brockman, Will Seister. They're both going to Mercer next year. Lambert is experienced. They have a lot of D1 talent as well. They're one of only 2 teams to score double digits against Lambert this season. Lambert is looking to make history as the most winningest team in lacrosse boys history. They're tied right now with Westminster at 6 total state titles. Defender Liam Sweeney, who is committed to Westminster, and Christopher Harper is committed to Embry-Riddle. Those are both great players for Lambert. West Forsyth, again, looking to make history. Imagine beating a team that's beaten you 11 straight times. You're kind of like that little brother. Imagine you having a bigger brother. He's just always whooping you. Imagine the basketball. He's just whooping you all the time. Just, man, beating you by 10-plus points. And you finally, like, bro, I beat you. You know, I beat you 11-10. Yeah, I beat you. Oh, it's only 1 point. I still beat you. Imagine playing him again with everything on the line, a state title, your first ever championship as well. West Forsyth boys are trying to do the same thing, and you go and you win. That's 2 victories in the season. That's going to create a rivalry. I mean, Lambert, again, they've won, I think, 5 of the last 6 state titles. I think they're seeking their 3rd consecutive. Imagine throwing a wrench into that and you being able to win. And then their head coach is phenomenal. John Layden's been doing a good job. He just won Lacrosse Boys Coach of the Year for 7A. I think they got everything they need in order to win this matchup. They got great players, all-state players, a phenomenal group that's bought in. As he says, it's a team that plays for each other when I interviewed them, a team that is not egotistical. They don't put one man above the team. It's all about basically the benefit of the team. Who is going to buy in? And I love that about their team. And man, I think this is going to be one of I think it's going to turn into a league rivalry in Georgia high school lacrosse. It's going to be must-see TV. I really do. And I'm going to go with West Forsyth with the win. I am. I predicted them earlier in the season to be Lambert. I'm doing it again, but close victory again. Instead of 10-9, I got 9-8, and I think this is going to be a start of an elite rivalry in high school lacrosse. So that is much-watch TV. Look out for that. And then Allatoona kind of made an improbable run in 5A, 6A. They're going to play Roswell. They beat some really good teams, right? They pulled up the upset against Blessed Trinity. They beat them 13-12. They beat Dunwoody, who's been at the top of my rankings all season long, along with Blessed Trinity. And they beat Marist. So they're battle-tested. They're proven. They have all-state players in Braden Fountain and Morgan Maddish. But I just think there's levels to it, right? I think they're going to compete with Roswell. But they've never faced no offense like this, right? Roswell offense is a different animal in its entirety. 3 of their last 4 games, they've scored 20-plus goals. They're not playing offensively, right? That's just next level, right? They have a total of 6 All-Americans on their team. Let me say that again. They have a total of 6 USA All-Americans on their team. That includes midfielder Ezra Moore, attacker Hill Plunkett, attacker Alex Lobel, Miles Quant, Stone Smith. That doesn't include their other 3 all-state players as well that they have on their team. That's 9 players that's been recognized as being great players on the high school level. I think Allatoona will compete. I think it'll be a great game. I'm giving the edge to Roswell. I think their offense is going to make more plays. I like the way they move the ball around. Some of them, as I kind of threw around in the other podcast, being able to come on the side. I think Stone Smith hit one that was kind of awkward looking, but just made it look easy. I like the way they move the ball. I think Alex Lobo on the attack is something difficult to stop. So this one, going with a Roswell victory, 15-10. Again, offense is absolutely loaded. I think it's going to be a little too much for Alatuna to contain. Their only hope is going to be to try to outscore them, and I think that's going to be easier said than done. I mean, Roswell doesn't have, I'll say this, your defense is not on the level their offense is on. So that's their best chance to win for Alatuna. But I just think Roswell is on another level offensively, and they're going to have it going, and they just going to be able to come out there with the win. So I got Roswell victory 15-10. And then the last one, Westminster versus Lovett. In this game, you got to watch out for Mason Ball. He had a great game for Lovett against Stars Mill, a team they lost to early in the season by the same score. He had 4 goals and an assist. Goalie Jack Youngworth, he was clutch with 8 saves in this game. Lovett wasn't on my radar. I'm not going to lie to you. They weren't even on my rankings mid to late season, but they've had a great playoff run. They beat Oconee County, they beat Holly Innocents, and they avenged their earlier loss against Stars Mill. So Mason Ball, John Gatley, some players to watch out for the Lovett Lions. And then for Westminster, what I really like about Westminster is the schedule they've played this year. They played some really good teams, exposed their weaknesses, helped them get better, get to this point. They played Fellowship Christian. They beat them 15-5. They beat Pope. They beat Wesleyan, who's going to be who's a really good team this year, to get to the title game. They beat Alatuna, who's going to be in the state championship on the other side playing against Roswell, Stars Mill. They played Lambert, Pace Academy. So they played some really good teams. I think it's going to be another pretty good one. I feel like they're ready for the moment. Watch out for midfielder Adam Woolley. But I'm going to go with the Westminster victory against Lovett. I think they avenged the loss. I think they win 11-10. Very close game between these two teams. They're going to be really competitive. Really great players, laying it out on the line. But Westminster with the win, 11-10, will be a really, really, really good one. So that's what I got for you guys. Hope you liked my state championship preview and breakdown. I think it's going to be some incredible matches. I can't wait. I've been covering lacrosse all year long, doing rankings for AJC and Score Atlanta. It's been a lot of fun. I hope, again, next season I get to kind of cover the same sport, because kind of like once you be able to cover one sport, you kind of get almost attached to it, and you enjoy it, and you enjoy looking at footage of it and watching it. So I've definitely enjoyed covering lacrosse this season. Again, this is my first ever year. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It definitely wasn't easy. I had never covered lacrosse before in my life. I had never watched lacrosse in my life prior to this season. So for some of those that watch me and watch the show and looked at my rankings, forgive me if it wasn't up to tier. Again, I will get better. But I think I did pretty decent for my first year of watching lacrosse, and I actually enjoy it, and I'll be better next year, and I'm excited to see, these teams compete, and it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully I get to cover it again next season. But we're going to take a quick break. Thank our sponsor, Georgia Farm Bureau. Be on the other side for the third segment, hopefully for my top 10 headlines, and then for head coach Craig Bennett.
Our mission has always been to support Georgia farmers. That's why we created Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, providing financial protection that farmers needed. While this remains the same today, we've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are our Farm Bureau.
All right, we are back. I'm still waiting for Coach. He told me he was going to text me when he come on. Craig, you see anything from Coach Bennett? Not yet. Okay, so Craig will let me know when he's here. While we're waiting for head coach, I guess we'll close out the show with that. We're going to go ahead and go for top 10 headlines for the weekend. Let's go ahead and get into it. If we have to pause, forgive me, guys. We'll just pick up where we left off, but I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Number one, as I mentioned just now, marquee matchup between Lambert and West Forsyth, this time for all the marbles. West Forsyth looking to win its first ever title. Again, I think that's going to be big for them. Lambert having their historic history, looking to become the winningest program in boys lacrosse, winning their 7th title along with Westminster, who's looking to do the same. So, again, great players, a lot of D1 athletes on the roster for Lambert, but I think West Forsyth is a well-coached program. I think they're coming for something special this season. Got them with the win. That's going to be a great matchup this weekend. If you can, go check it out. All right, number 2, Brookwood pitcher Charlie Foster commits to Georgia. Major for him. He was 4-1 as a starter for Brookwood this year. Had a 2.45 ERA, 32 strikeouts. Georgia lands a really, really good prospect. Great fastball, good curveball. Major, shout out to Charlie Foster. Major landing for him. All right, number 3, as I mentioned, West Forsyth is a program. They're looking to make some history on the boys and girls program, looking to win their first ever state title in program history. Um, major weekend for West Forsyth. Maybe they can sweep it and do it kind of how Kell basketball did it for their boys and girls program, winning their first ever titles and, seeing, kind of being able to get those trophies. So I think that's number 3 for me. Can both of the programs host their first ever state titles in program history? And number 4, I got to give a shout out to Caden Carroll. He had a phenomenal 2023 season for the Cartersville Hurricanes, 9-0, 0.90 ERA, 91 strikeouts, just a 1.75 batting average opposing batters had against him. He ends his career with a 21-0 record. Can't get no better than that. So shout out to Caden Carroll for the Hurricanes. He had a phenomenal career and a great season. Wish they could have made it a little further, but great career for Caden Carroll for the Cartersville Hurricanes. All right, number 5, potential rising starter and maybe future QB athlete. We'll see what they do with him at Sandy Creek. Dalen Pinson, he just won the state in the triple jump with the 45-10 length. So I think he would be an interesting prospect to watch out for. I think he's 2025. As you guys know, they had Gamir Latimer as their starter. Sandy Creek did. So be interesting to see who the quarterback's going to be. But he wins the triple jump, showing his athleticism. Excuse me. I think that would be very, very intriguing to see how he plays next year, what position he plays for Sandy Creek, and how they're able to come out. Number 6, as I told Craig, this team, I mean, if it's one thing we do next year is we got to get this team on TV. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, Milton Eagles, like, that's some much-watched TV as well, right? I mean, listen to these players. And I got something on my phone, too, I'm going to share as well. All right, so let's go ahead. Running back, Shamar Vick. This is the cousin of Atlanta greats. Some call him a legend. Whatever you want to call Michael Vick as an Atlanta fan, I'll let you do the pleasure of doing so. But let's just say electrifying QB, right? He is the cousin of Michael Vick. He's playing for the Milton Eagles this season. Now, I don't know if he's going to win the starting job, but that is a player that's going to be on the Milton Eagles roster. We'll see what role he has. But that is major key. Obviously, I want to interview head coach Ben Reeves. I want to find out more about their team, what he's going to do with this talent. Craig had him on the show, I think, last week. But this talent, as I'm about to keep going, is incredible. Luke Nickel, going to be a junior next year, sophomore last year, took big steps forward. They got all the way to the semifinals last year. That was good for him, I think, because he struggled some, right, in that big game that they played against Mill Creek, right? I think they're going to play him again in the Freedom Bowl. He struggled. But I think he's going to be better next year. I think he took the time to work on it, and the coach said he worked on his release. His release is faster. He's working on his throwing. I think he will be a lot better, a lot more comfortable as a junior next year than he was as a sophomore. And he made it all the way to the semifinals, and he had a great season. I think he will be better. You got him. You got 4-star DeBron Gatling going to Texas A&M University, right? You got 4-star C.J. Wiley, 6'4", with legs, motor, can move offensively. You got Ryan Gia, 4-star, tight end, electric, kind of that soft spot guy. Think of your Travis Kelce's, your George Kittles, athletic. Go that all along with the offense. Mark Easley, another player offensively that they can use as a weapon to go along with the 3-headed monster they got with DeBron Gatling, C.J. Wiley, and Ryan Gia. Then defensively, you got linebacker Jack Lawson, who led them in tackles, right? As we talked to him last year, Coach Ben Reeves said he was a safety. He moved to the linebacker position after an injury to kind of help out the team. Led the team in tackles last year. That's another player. Doesn't get a lot of notice, but kind of your do-it-all, Swiss Army knife kind of a player. 4-star. Remember, they're replacing a lot of their DBs next year. They have another 3-star guy. I can't remember his name or couldn't find him. But they're replacing Robert Billings, right? They're replacing Bryce Thornton, who are off to Clemson in Florida. They got a 4-star. His name is Shamar Arnu. He's going to Tennessee. Another player. Very, very talented. Now, I got to talk about this one. They have a rising freshman. His name is Christian Hunter. Hasn't even completed 8th grade yet, and he's already practicing with the spring team. Still in 8th grade, right? Hasn't graduated 8th grade yet. He's already practicing with the team. Listen to this write-up from Prep Red Zone on Christian Hunter, who hasn't even stepped foot on the Milton campus yet. Listen to this. There's plenty of hype surrounding the big do-it-all athlete heading into his freshman season at Milton. There's a good reason why. This big-time 8th grader is coming off a tremendous youth career where he dominated both at running back and defensive line. He'll be playing at Milton. A born-to-compete 3-time Player of the Year winner, Hunter is a bowling ball at running back and who had no problem running through defenders. He's coming into his freshman year, listen to this, 6'1", 250 pounds, just as a freshman. Hasn't worked out with the group yet, hasn't added weight, hasn't gotten bigger, stronger yet. That's just as a freshman. Still finishing up his 8th grade year, Hunter is already practicing with the powerful Milton Eagles this spring and hoping to learn as much as he can before his freshman season starts in the fall. The young man moves well for his size and is full of D1 potential. If he continues to learn and develop under an excellent Milton defensive staff, Hunter has the potential to make an impact next season as a freshman. That's incredible. Guy is just a freshman, hasn't stepped foot on campus, and he competed in our Georgia Elite Classic event. Yes. Guy won. He's one of the top 2027 prospects in the state. So the fact that he's already practicing with the team, obviously they have a bunch of weapons defensively on the front, a bunch of guys that are studs, a couple transfers they had come over. But if he can just carve himself out a role, that defensive front, like I just mentioned the offense. All those players I just mentioned were offense. This is just defense. Their front is going to be something different. They got a game coming up against Cass, their spring game. I'm curious to see, and that's why I'm going to interview. You guys are going to hear it in a couple of weeks because I got to learn about this talent and how Coach Reeves is going to coach this talent up and what the coaches are. I know these coaches are salivating at these players they got because this is next level, right? So I'm curious to see what role Christian Hunter is going to have as a freshman next year. If anything, a rotational piece at worst. But he'll be able to spell those big guys and keep kind of those fresh legs. But you're bringing that in. And then you got another edge rusher, Ja'Cory Stewart, who's underrated, really good for them. Kind of a disruptor, has a great bend, come off the edge, create chaos. This is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is one of the most talented teams, I think, potentially in the country. Yeah, I didn't say state. I said the country. Yeah. You don't see this kind of talent every day. And obviously, talent is not going to win you a state title. Talent is not going to win you games. It's going to come down to coaching, execution, buying in, not putting your ego above others, and making sure that you play for each other and play for your teammates. But this is one of the most talented teams I've seen, and I think they're going to be right there when it's said and done. Obviously, 7A is tough. You got Buford's in there. Milton's right there. Mill Creek's defending state champion. Carrollton's going to be there. It's going to be tough. But talent perspective, they're another level. They're must-see TV. Hopefully we can get one of their games televised as well. But that's number 6. That roster, whew, next level. Number 7, Bleckley County clinches a spot in the Final Four after a 6-4 win in Game 2 versus Social Circle. Eli Mullis, he had the go-ahead 2-run homer in the top of the ninth to give them the lead and basically clinch the win for Bleckley County. They advanced to a Final Four. Shout out to their program. Big win for them as they try to contend for a state title. Track and field state championships are this weekend. My guy Craig is going to have the coverage for you. Stay tuned for that. He will be very busy. He'll be working, I think he said 10-plus hours. So shout out to him. He is a grueler. He is a guy that puts a lot of time and effort in, and I see why sometimes he is tired. He does a lot of good stuff. So go to Score ATL at AJC to check that out. I made him smile a little bit, but he does a great job, man. Y'all go check that out. He will have all the coverage for the state track and field. So definitely go check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. It starts today, May 9th through the 11th. Me and Craig will be busy this weekend covering some of the state championships for spring. So stay tuned for that. Number 9, Hayden Clark. Just want to give him a shout out. I enjoyed interviewing him this year. I enjoyed learning more about him. His dad, Don Clark's also a great guy. Just enjoyed learning more about him. He didn't get a lot of notice. He's going to Washburn. But I think he executed that system that head coach Josh Lovely had to a T. Obviously, they had talent. But if you don't have the right quarterback, don't matter what talent you have, right? You're going to need a guy who's going to be able to make those throws, run the system correctly, be a leader. And Hayden Clark exhibits all of that. He really does. And he won Outstanding Male Senior Athlete of the Year from Gwinnett County. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. Hope he's able to do good on the next level for himself. He was instrumental in their playoff run and them hosting a state title. And then we got some Georgia players to close out the top 10 headlines. Georgia players contending and competing in the XFL championship. Tight end Isaac Nauta, Devin Bellamy, and then DeMarcus Haynes are all going to compete on the 13th. Defenders versus Renegades. I think that's the first championship game for the XFL, if I'm not mistaken. Check that out. Will be this weekend. Will be a whole lot of fun. So that's what I got. Those are my top 10 headlines for the weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed that segment. Still waiting on head coach. He's supposed to join here soon. So we're going to take one more quick break, thank our sponsor, and we're going to be on the other side, hopefully, with Coach Craig Bennett.
Our mission has always been to support Georgia farmers. That's why we created Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, providing financial protection that farmers needed. While this remains the same today, we've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are our Farm Bureau.
All right, guys, we're back. Still waiting on Coach Bennett a little bit. While we're waiting, we're going to give you a preview of their season last year, how good they played, a roster that's going to be really, really intriguing, right? Who are going to replace some of these players they had, right? That's my biggest question with Cambridge, right? They're going to lose Will Taylor. He's going to Georgia. He's going to walk on there. Christian Ejibor got a preferred walk-on from the University of Miami, right? I don't think he's made a commitment decision yet. It's actually kind of tough right now. I'm not going to lie to you. It's different than what it was before, right? Because you used to have the high school players, they'll go to a school, there'll be a roster spot available, but it's different with the transfer portal because a lot of times, like, you can see a player, okay, hey, D1 schools didn't want me out the gate. Let me go to a JUCO or junior community college, or let me go D2, D3, and then transfer over. But the transfer portal, a lot of these guys, they can do a semester, not like how it went, and then transfer out. The transfer portal has changed everything. You being able to play immediately right after you transfer has changed it all. You see that on a lot of levels of different sports. So it makes it tougher for the high school athletes coming out because the colleges don't have as many positions available. I think it's only for D1, might be 80 to 85 scholarships potentially that they get every year. So it's tough for some of these players to land these scholarships, man. It really is. And it's changed the game forever. And, hopefully the players can continue to adapt. But, man, they had a great season, 9-3, 6-0 in the region. They won a region championship. We was there for the game that pretty much cemented it for them. The game against Kell was great. I ain't gonna lie. The Longhorns had a lot of turnovers in that one. They didn't really have any answers for their offense. It just seemed like coming into that game, Kell was nervous a little bit early. A lot of turnovers that helped out the Cambridge Bears. And the difference, I thought, and I talked to the coach multiple times last year, and he said the offensive line, they begged him to run the football, right? They had such great talent last season in their skill groups, in their positions, right? They had Will Taylor. They had Preston Clemmer, who had a great season, right? He had 17 touchdowns last year, over 1,100 yards passing as his first year as a true starter. And he wasn't a guy that was just a pocket passer, right? He was also a dual threat, right? 531 yards rushing last year, 7 touchdowns, right? He can beat you with his feet, too. He runs track, right? That's one of my bigger questions to Coach Bennett. How quick, how fast is Preston Clemmer, right? Because he set a PR for the 200-meter race this past track season, right? He competes in track. So, as we all know, playing those multiple sports really helps you out and can really help you, especially track when going into football season after, right? You're learning short spurts, long spurts, being able to hold your top end speed for a longer time, right? A lot of time you see in football, you'll see a player, right? He's able to get past the first and second defender, but then the linebacker or the cornerback from all the way on the other side is able to run and chase him down, right? That's where track really comes in because it gives you that kind of elongated speed, right? Because then you get past those two, okay, it's just you in the end zone, but is this guy from the other side going to be able to come and track you down? So that's when the straight line speed kind of goes away. That's kind of the elongated speed, you being able to sustain your top end speed for a very, very long time. So that's when that comes in. So that's why I like track in the sport. It teaches you things like that. That comes in heading on the football field. So nonetheless, it's interesting to see, what steps he's going to take forward next year. But like I said, some of the main receiving options. No Will Taylor next year. He had over 9 touchdowns, 500+ yards. No Jack Marlowe. They're not going to have him. They're not going to have Connor Harris. Like they're missing a lot of their talent that they had last year that really helped them. It's not going to be there. And the cool thing I like too with Clemmer and some of those weapons is that he said, once again, they took the unselfish approach, right? They had such a good offensive line, and Isabor had a great year, 1,350 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns last season. That they didn't pass as much. They didn't need to, right? Because nobody could really. It's not like college or NFL where it's kind of pass happy, right? It's still run dominant in high school football, and that's one of the differences, right? If you can't stop that run in late October, November, you're not going to win a lot of football games, right? If you got an offensive line you can lean on and they can maul guys and get guys out the way, create holes for those running backs, they're very, very dangerous. And that's what Cambridge had. That's why they were able to win their region title. That's why they were able to beat the Kell Longhorns. That's what really made the difference in their program. And like I said, not going to have Isabor anymore. Not going to have Chaffin. So it's going to be interesting to see who are some of those guys that's going to have to step up for him. And then defensively, it's kind of the same thing, right? Not going to have Brooks Morley. He's a senior. He's graduating, right? That was one of their linebackers. He's not going to be there. Rittenhauer, another one of their great players, 44+ tackles. He's not going to be there. Skipper, 56 total tackles. He's not going to be there. Garrett Moody plays baseball. He's not going to be there next year for the Bears. He's leaving as well, graduating. He's going. Let's see. So one of the players that I've circled actually is going to be this guy right here. Get to know him a little bit more. Cole Giacob. He had 71 tackles last year. I think he was top in the team. He's a junior, so obviously he's going to be at the forefront. He played strong safety and free safety for the Bears last year. He's going to be a critical component of their defense, right? So that'll be interesting to see how does their defensive front and defensive line look. I think it's going to be another a good one to see. Really, really interesting. But again, had a great year. Beat Creekview, started the season, lost to Denmark in a 2-point game, beat Alpharetta, a team that was contending for their region title towards the end of the season before losing to Roswell in that region championship game to get the 1 seed. They played West Forsyth. They did lose to them by 7, but after that, they went on a little streak, right? They beat Chattahoochee 55-0. Offense was rolling. Greater Atlantic Christian 43-13. Centennial, they beat them 37-10. Kell 42-24. Northview 51-7. North Springs 59-6. Playoff game against Jackson Atlanta, they beat them 27-20. And then they kind of faced the behemoth Cartersville. They did lose, but curious to see, how their programs are going to look. Those players they're going to have to replace, and, overall, what it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting for them because, their region got better. I'm not going to lie. Their region got better. If we look at it, Kell last year, 5-1. I think they're going to be right at the forefront next year. I think they're going to be better. Bryce Claver's another year at the helm. You got Kyle Vaca coming over. He's kind of your do-it-all receiver. Dangerous with the football in his hands. Freshman phenom, Peyton Zachary, another year at the helm for him. You're not going to have the leading sack guy, Joshua Barker, who had 19.5 sacks, but Marquavius Sabor, he's a 3-star. He's an athlete for them. Plays defense, can play a little bit of offense, kind of can play one of those Caleb Downs roles if possible. Kell's going to be a lot better next year. Another year, second-year head coach, Bobby May, he's going to have another year with that team. Be able to coach them up. We've seen a lot of young guys. A lot of time you have young guys, you can see a little immaturity. But I think next year they're going to be a lot better. So that's going to be another contender for them up there at the top. Centennial, we'll see they're losing some of the guys. They lost that kind of really great offensive lineman, Daniel Calhoun's now at Walton. Great Atlantic Christian, we'll have to see. 3-3 last year in the region. How good will they be this year? Then Chattahoochee's in there. North Springs, and then Northview. But I think Cambridge will still make a playoff spot next year. I'm just curious to see. Kell is going to be the team that's going to, I think, contend with them at the top and decide if they're going to be able to win a region title. I really think so. So that's Region 6 out there in 5A. So I think it'll be interesting to see, what happens and, kind of how it comes out. But anything yet, Craig? Nothing? I know he said around 3. All right. Trying to hold on. All right. So what I'll do is I'll wait another 5-10 minutes. If nothing by then, I'm gonna just close out this show. Let's see. Some more news we can talk about. Let's see. Okay, so I think we got some results. We'll talk a little bit of track and field. For the meantime, I'm gonna go into about 320 guys, and then I'm gonna wrap it if coach is not on by then. Just have to do a different day with them. But we'll talk some track and field results. We got a little bit from today from GHSA. They've been announcing some um, over some of the events, so we'll talk a little bit about that. I think the major events are the shot put and the high jump and things like that. But let's see. All right, so this one right here, got track and field. We got 7A girls triple jump. Looks like it's at McCreation High School. Dana Nimbahar from Decula, she won the triple jump event for 7A girls with a 49. She got 10 points from that. Kaylin McConaughey, she finished second for Lowndes, and then Adora Tagabo finished third for North Gwinnett. And then other news, it's like boys discus and girls high jump as well. This Class A Division II. Frank Anderson for Aquinas, he won with 149 discus time, or discus distance, excuse me. Dennis Thomas for Warren County, 140-7. Landon Young for Portal, 135-11. And then Class A Division II girls high jump was Marley Bell from Montgomery County, 5'2", and then Takia Burgess, Turner County, 5'0". Kaylin Burgess, 5'0" as well. And then track and field, looks like 3A girls shot put and high jump. Kendra Dice for White County, she won with a 43-9. Jaden Dean, Pickens County, 39-3, and then Hulk Mazawi, Hebron Christian with 38-7. Marley Dinger for the girls 3A high jump from Bremen, 5'8". Maggie Bird, Savannah Christian with 5'4", and then Taylor McCormick for Gilmer with 5'4". And then you had 3A girls triple jump. Ryan Lewis, she took that with the 40 height. Elvia Matthews from Bremen, she had 38 looks like height on that one. And then Najeh Lucier from Mary Parsons, 37-2. Josh Pfeiffer for 4A boys discus, Stars Mill, 161-4. Yashawn Butler, LaGrange, 157-1. And then Cedric Urban for Stockbridge, 156-8. All right, and then shot put for 2A boys, DJ Chester, Eagles Landing Christian Academy, 58-8. He wins the event. Second place, Darius Burge for Jeff Davis, 55-10. Hard name to say. Jeremiah Hurd from Model, he had a 53-3. He finished third. That's one of the major athletes. He plays football for them. I think he is a 3-star, top 100 player in the state of Georgia. 2A girls, Shelby Speed from Banks County, 43-7. Veronica Babbitt, Athens County, 41-2. And then Chancie Lewis, Jeff Davis, 37-250. All right. Other news, 7A discus throw. We had Jordan White, Carrollton, 159. Max Herman, Marietta, 158-3. Anthony Miller for Duluth, 157-4. And then Zoe Johnson, Osborne, 143-1. Noelle Egg Baresi, her name's kind of hard to pronounce. Tequila, she was 141.6. Cameron Hannon for Grayson, 136.10. All right, and then other events, Class A Division II girls shot put. Jerica Bryant from McIntosh County Academy, 36.6 time. Kelly Robinson, Mitchell County, 33.125 time. Tisha Hardwick, Randolph Clay, 32.0 time. And then 5A boys long jump, Hassan Sykes Tucker, 22.525 long jump. Miles Collier, Chapel Hill, 22.2 long jump distance. Davari Barthel, Dutchtown, 22.175. All right, pole vault, 2A girls, Sophie Shrugs, Pierce County, 11.4 pole vault distance. Aura Parlato Walker, 10.6 pole vault distance. Reagan Orr, model, 9.6 pole distance. And then 7A boys pole vault was Connor McLean, Walton, 15 distance. Timothy Lamb, Mill Creek, 14.6. Will Frederick Marietta, third with 14.6 time as well. So those are the latest results from GHSA track and field championships that are taking place right now. A lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Anything you see major as far as the sports world, Craig, you want to talk about or you had?
Thought the long jump was interesting. Westminster finished first, second, and third, so that's a ton of points.
That is a ton of points.
That's 24 points in one event.
I did not see that. Let me see if I can find that. Talk about that real quick before I wrap up.
That was
Okay, it's a 4A girls long jump. You're right. Grace Smith, Westminster, 18.75 jump. Kelsey Chambers, Westminster, 18.65 jump. Ryan McFadden, Westminster, 18.2. That is interesting. Okay, they did pretty good right there. And then 4A Bulls pole vault, Owen Wilkinson, Central Carroll, 14.6. Connor White, Holly Innocence, 13.0. Jackson Ross, Trinity Christian, 13.0 as well. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. I was trying to get head coach. Nothing from him, right? I did try to hold out for him, but we'll just have to reschedule, get him on another time, talk about his program in his group. But tune into the show tomorrow. Craig's going to have a really fun segment. I think he's going to have a guest on tomorrow. I think it's going to be Jasper Jewell to talk about the track and field state championships. So stay tuned for that tomorrow at noon. On NFHS, on YouTube, and on our Twitch channel. Stay tuned for that. Enjoy the weekend. Will be a lot of fun. Got some Game 6s for the NBA. Tomorrow night, you're going to have Knicks versus Miami, and then you're going to have the Lakers and the Warriors for Game 6. Says AD is going to play. I know a lot of people kind of came for some of the commentators that were laughing at him getting injured. They weren't laughing at what happened to him, I don't think. I think they were more laughing at just every time we turn around, AD's hurt, no matter what it is. And I think just, kind of the pat that he got, you probably wouldn't think it would be as severe as, it looked, I guess. So I think that's what some of the analysts were laughing about. I'm not saying it's funny. It's definitely not funny. But I think that was kind of the reason. I mean, AD is always hurt, though. I mean, and their kind of title hopes kind of rest on his shoulders. Like, if he's healthy, they'll probably win. If he's not, it's kind of tough to say. But we'll see what Golden State got in store for next week. For Saturday. For tomorrow. But that'll be a lot of fun. I will not be here next week. So no Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins next Thursday. I will be out of town. So no show next week, guys. Craig will be here. I'll be here for the Tuesday show with me and Craig, Underrated and Overlooked on Tuesday. But I will not be here for my solo show next Thursday. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'll be recapping some of the baseball results, trying to talk to some of the coaches after this big spring games, get some players on as well, and get some other guests. So hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and have a good weekend. I'll see you then. Peace.